Good evening and welcome. Some housekeeping before we begin. We're not expecting the fire alarm to sound this evening, but if it does, please leave the building through the fire exit and meet outside at the fire assembly point. Officers will direct any evacuation if necessary. Councillors will be using tablet devices to access the agenda for the meeting. We will always welcome people to speak at the meeting, though this is a formal committee meeting of Eastleigh Borough Council and not a public meeting. The members of the public that have registered to speak will be invited to speak at the relevant agenda item and will be given a total of 3 minutes to speak. When the light is amber, they have 1 minute remaining. People wishing to speak on an item on the agenda are able to do so before the debate starts. Once the debate has started, however, it is not possible to invite or receive comments from the floor. We want to be as inclusive as possible, but will not tolerate any disruptions to our meeting. Should there be any disruption, we do not have the power under the Council's constitution to remove people from the meeting or continue in private, neither of which we take lightly or wish to do. Councillors are reminded that to take part in this meeting, you must have an open mind so that you can take all the relevant considerations present to the meeting into account in reaching your decision. By attending today, you have decided that you will listen to all points of view expressed by the speakers and public and are able to participate and cannot be seen to have predetermined the application. This meeting will be recorded and will be uploaded to the Council's website. If any members of the public prefer not to be recorded, then do please contact a member of staff. If you are planning on filming or recording the meeting, then do please let us know so that we can ensure you're not filming members of the public that do not wish to be filmed. The Chair reserves the right to ask any filming considered intrusive to be stopped. More information is available on the Council's website. Okay, number 1, apologies.
We have apologies from Councillor Baker and Councillor Broadhurst.
Okay, public participation. No members of the public are present, so we'll move on to declarations of interest. Do members have any declarations of interest they wish to make? If so, please indicate now, and when called, please state the nature and reason for the interest. You can, of course, declare any interest as they occur to you in the meeting. No declarations of interest declared. Okay, item 4. We can now move to the minutes of the meeting held on 17th of January 2024. Can I now approve these as a true record?
Yes.
Do I have a proposer? Councillor James Duguid, a seconder. Cllr Pragnell, all agreed?
Yeah.
Thank you, councillors. Right, Chair's report. Right, since it's been 8 months since our last meeting, so quite a few things have happened. I will just touch on a few of them. We've had a local borough election change in a councillor, so we welcome Councillor Karl at Attrill, our completely new councillor, and the re-election of Cllr Pragnell. We also thank our outgoing councillor, Anne Buckley, for her service and all the best for the future. We've also had a change in LSC chair, so I would like to thank Councillor Broadhurst, who's currently not present, our old chair, for the excellent job he did last year in keeping us under control. We've also had a general election that you will be aware of with a new government and new local MP, Liz Jarvis. We've had a wonderful 80th memorial celebration of Normandy landings in which Eastleigh and Chandler's Ford at that time had played a part in Operation Overlord. We've since, in the last 8 months, had projects such as the sculpture on Hiltingbury Wreck, part funded by the LAC, Arts Council and Parish, is getting close to completion. We've applied persistent and consistent pressure on HCC, which has resulted in changes and improvements to our roads and barriers. Romalley Park, or Romalley Lane Car Park, will be improved shortly. Various extensive tree works have been paid for to maintain the safety of the public and to prevent verge parking. And we will continue to work hard to represent our residents and to improve our area. Though previously mentioned at the last LAC, we have further budgetary restrictions which will make this coming year challenging. So thank you for that. Right. Report, agenda 6, report of the local area managers. Can you please present the report?
Thank you, Chair. I was not going to sort of report this in detail, so take it that you've read that, but I will just point out item number 4 on there, which we hadn't talked about at the team meeting, which is the £8,000 suggested allocation for the resurfacing of Ramaley Lane. We're very much hoping that we can get that a bit cheaper than that. Sorry, is it not coming through a bit? Yes. Okay. Yeah, so what I wanted to do was just make sure that that's in our report, and so it enables us to progress that a bit more quickly. So we're still finalising the quotes from that. The County Council's Public Right-of-Way officer has met with us recently, and the Highway Management team, Liam Houghton. There's some confusion as to where the boundary actually lies with the car park. They think they own some of the frontage, so we're now in conversation about whether we should share some of the cost of doing that. So unfortunately I haven't got the detailed price for you, but I didn't want to delay it, so I put a figure of up to £8,000, and I hope to bring that down a bit in when reality sets in and once we've agreed final prices. So that's why that's there, and I'll be happy to take any questions on any of the other items.
Okay, we'll now open it out to councillors for questions. Councillor Pragnell.
I think it's fine that you don't wish to read your entire report out, being sent round to us. As this is a public council meeting held in public, will that be published fully in the minutes? Sorry, I didn't catch the first bit. Which bit? You did read out your full report, because we've already had it in detail. Will it be published in full in the minutes? Because anyone who's viewing this now will say, oh, there's a report, but I don't see it and I don't hear it.
Do you want me to answer this one? We don't usually publish the report again in the minutes. We do refer to the report as when we would do that. Guy presented his report as set out in agenda item 6 on this one, I think it is, into the minutes, so that they can link back to the agenda and they can link back to the agenda and find it that way. It's just how we've always done it.
In which case then, I think we should read it out in full, because anyone looking at this as a member of the public will not be able to access it.
I can append it to the minutes if you would prefer.
I think we should.
Yeah, it's just not something we usually do, but I can append it to the minutes that you
Anything
request.
we abbreviate should then be given in full in the minutes.
I will
I would suggest.
put it down as your request to append it to the minutes.
Councillor Attrill.
Regarding Malley Lane, we've had long discussions on this, and I think we agreed on £6,000. In your report, you mentioned that we have to have, well, that £6,000 is going to exclude, will be the cost excluding fees. What are these fees?
So for any project we undertake, so I go and procure that service. So I go to the engineers, our own engineering team, and they levy a fee on top of any quote. So there's typically 10-15% depending on the nature of the work. So there is always an officer fee attached to an outside quote. I've put a little contingency just to allow for the uncertainties around that, but as I say, I'm hopeful that it should actually come in, hopefully below that £6,000 target.
Yes, okay. So you mentioned 10 to 15%. So on 6,000, that will be £600, £900. You've obviously there's £2,000. I'm just mindful of the fact that there's going to be constraints on our expenditure, and I just want to make sure that we do keep it to what we kind of expected to pay. Is that?
Yeah, if I may, once I know the details, I'll be happy to circulate those via email, and then you'll have a sort of clear sight of where we've got to in terms of the detailed spec and the price. So if you're happy at that point, I'm happy to wait to give the go-ahead until you've had a chance to peruse that.
Yeah, what he's saying is that we'll basically wait till we get specific details.
Yeah, we don't want to get a quote for a very large amount of money, which is well above 6,000. So.
Any further questions?
Happy to wait for that approval to go forward, provided we don't run into the price being
I'm very hopeful that we'll get something to you within the next couple of 3 weeks. And if you're happy via email, I'll instruct as soon as I do. So I want to move it forward as quickly as possible. I'm conscious of the rainy season coming in. So yeah, just want to get it in soon.
Sorry, just to follow on, sorry, about Ramalley Lane. I heard that we have got some, it's like turning into a bit of a joint project with Hampshire. Is that correct? So are they going to be putting some contribution in, which would maybe lower our commitment?
That certainly reflects the conversation that we've had with the highway engineer who is responsible for maintenance. So, as I say, Liam Houghton, we met on site, our engineer met him on site, and there was certainly a discussion around the need to clarify the ownership, and if the ownership is in part with Hampshire County Council, they're willing to contribute to the project. So we just need to come back and determine that.
Yeah, I think there may be a contra on cost in that they would be anxious to have a permeable asphalt, and we were previously talking about not necessarily permeable. In any event, we're approving 8,000 tonight as the request, and we're operating within that budget. And if it is permeable, I think that's the modern standard that everyone has to apply to their own driveways. That would be entirely a good thing that it were permeable, but I think that is an upgrade on what was originally being discussed.
That's partly why I've put that slightly additional figure in to allow for a bit of uplift on that side. I know we did say the tarmac, but now we've got another agency involved, Countryside team as well, would like that included as a cost, and then I can come back to you. We will have a costing for both tarmac and permeable surface, and you can then give me a steer once you've got those details.
Yeah. Because, Chair, are we talking about the other items, or was that specifically just number 4 we're discussing?
At the moment it was number 4, but if there are any other questions that are asked me more, please.
If I may, then, Chair, my other query was the number 1, 15,537 to improve the platform play area and developers' contributions. I just want reassurance that really that's how these things have happened in the past, because developers' contributions are kind of ring-fenced, and this is, as I understand it, ongoing maintenance of it after 10 years of use and the need to replace rotten timbers and things like that. And I wondered if that actually came out of developers' contributions, or whether in fact that actually was a cost that should be borne by EBC centrally rather than out of developers' contributions. That's my query.
Unfortunately, the play area is devolved, so the cost would be funded by yourselves either through your revenue budget, through your reserve, or through your developer contributions.
Right.
Certainly, ever since I've been here, we've funded refurbishments, sort of fairly fundamental refurbishments, which I suppose there is a fine line between maintenance and uplift. But the intention is once this is uplifted, and we're getting 3 quotes in at the moment, that will then get it to a standard where obviously the parish can take it over. But certainly we've been using it to maintain that. We have in ELAC, we've been able to increase the revenue budget. We've added £25,000 to the annual revenue budget, but we've got 13 play areas to look after. In Chandler's Ford, obviously this is a slightly smaller budget, and only one play area to look after. So, yeah, I'm not sure I've given you a definitive response, but certainly customer practice has, over the years has allowed us to use DCs for those kinds of maintenance issues.
Chair, I'm just wishing to have it confirmed it's a consistent approach across the borough, and we're not being singled out because in special circumstances and the likelihood of transferring to the parish in due course. Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions? Okay, so
I just want to confirm something with number 4, if that's okay. So are we approving number 4 on the provision that you will be circulating the final costs?
If you'd like to amend the recommendation, I can do that in, what I would sometimes do is say in consultation with the chair,
Yeah.
So the decision is approved
Yeah.
to be delegated to me as the local area manager in consultation with the chair, and then the assumption is that I would consult the rest of the councillors at the same time.
Yeah. So do you want to take 1 to 6 separately and amend that recommendation? Or do you want to take them all together?
I think your view on that.
Would you like them separately, or would the council prefer them together?
Separate, I think.
Okay. Right, so item. So we need to basically propose and second each item then.
Dave, are you happy? Sorry, Councillor Pragnell, are you happy to take 1 to 6 without 4 as one item? Or would you like to take them all individually?
If it was me, I would take
All of them individually.
But it doesn't really matter. It just looks messy, I think. But if you want to do 1 to 6 and leave 4 out, so 1, 2, 3, 5 and 6 is one motion. Yeah, okay.
Is everybody else happy with 1 to 6, except for 4, and then we'll deal with 4 separately? All right, so 1 to 6, apart from 4, can I have a proposer and a seconder?
Seconded.
And item 4, can I have?
They need to agree.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so we've done the proposal.
All agreed?
Yeah.
Sorry, all agreed. Thank you, councillors. Right, then item 4, can I have a proposer and a seconder?
What is the motion?
So suggesting the motion is that up to £8,000 is allocated for resurfacing a Ramalli car park from the revenue reserve,
Subject to.
and that this decision is delegated to the local area manager in consultation with the chair.
Yep.
Right,
So that's a revision of the January one, which was an agreement of 6,000.
That never went to committee.
Oh, no, it wasn't.
That was
okay. So if you're okay with that, do I have a proposer and a seconder? All agreed?
No, agreed.
Okay, thank you, councillors. Got past that one. Right. There were no abstentions and none against. Right, appointments to outside bodies, regulatory panels and other groups. Guy, can I ask you to present the report, please?
Yeah, so really just, we went through this at the working group, and I've got names listed there. Any changes that you're aware of, or are you content with those that are proposed?
Okay, I'll open it up to councillors for questions. Any questions? Okay. I think it's the same as last time. There's been no change to the outside bodies.
Carry on with it.
Right, so do I have a proposer and a seconder? Any debate? All those in favour? Against? Right, thank you, councillors. That's all in favour. Planning appeals. Right, next we have the planning appeals. Can I ask that we note the appeals?
That's literally all you need to do, isn't it?
Oh, right.
Feels very wrong, doesn't it?
Right, this concludes the meeting. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for listening. The next meeting will be held on Wednesday, the 6th of November at 7 p.m. at Belmore Community Centre. So thank you and good evening.